In the parsha this week, we learn of the daughters of Tzlofchad, Machla, Noach, Hogla, Milcah, and Tirzah. These 5 girls, they come to Moshe and they complain. They make a complaint. They say, it's not fair. It said, our dad, he died. Uvanim lo hayolo. He didn't have any children. He didn't have any sons. Lama yigara shem avinu mitoch mishpachto ki ein loven. Why should we lose out? Why should our father's name be cut off from amongst his family because he doesn't have a son? Give us a portion of the land of Israel. Give us an inheritance amongst our family, amongst our tribe. And of course, they bring their dispute to Moshe, and Moshe says, you know what? Good idea. Hashem, he goes off and speaks to Hashem about it, and Hashem says, you're right. We're going to change the law. We're going to change the inheritance law so that these girls can have their inheritance. Rabbi Fran says an amazing thing that I want to add to a tiny little bit. And he tells a story, a great story actually, that happened in the town of Brisk. You may have heard of the town of Brisk. It's now in Belarus. Brisk was a place which was very fervent in its observance of Torah, and the descendants of those who lived and learned in Brisk now have their yeshivot in Israel and one in America as well. And their followers are very fervent, are very strong and powerful and fiery in their observance of Hashem. The story goes that in the shul in Brisk, they had a choir for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and they wanted to go and sing in a gallery. They wanted to build a gallery and sing on a platform. Whereas they would usually, in times gone by, they would sing in a semicircle around the chazan. And the rabbi of Brisk, the Brisker Rav, he wanted them to stay in the semicircle, and they wished to go in the choir loft that they were building for themselves on a platform. And there was a big argument, and there was discussions backwards and forwards. The rabbi was very strong in his opinion, the choir and the other people were very strong in their opinion. And came Rosh Hashanah, and the rabbi expected them to be on the bimah, and they didn't listen to him. They went on this platform that they'd built for themselves. And the rabbi begged and he pleaded, please come down, please come and sing on the bimah like I want you to. And they said no. And suddenly, from the ladies' gallery, the mechitza opens, and the wives of the men who were singing in the choir started shouting at their husbands, how dare you disobey the rabbi? How dare you embarrass the rabbi in such a way? Get down and go and sing on the bimah. And I think that this story of the daughters of Tzlofchad and this story from Brisk tells us something very important. That first of all, when you see that something's wrong, when you feel in your heart that something isn't going right and something that you need to stand up against, then you must do that. If there's an injustice in the world, an injustice that you see, you've got to stand up against it. Even if it means going to the great leaders of the time, whether it be Moshe, whether it be someone else, and saying, this isn't right, we need to do something about it. And a good leader will go and take the dispute to the higher authorities, in Moshe's case Hashem, and deal with it. As long as you bring your dispute in a proper way, in a kind way, and in a way that is respectful. And the other idea from the story is that we must never discount women. We must never discount the effect that women have had on Jewish history, on Jewish practice, from wherever they have been, from whichever situation that we find ourselves in. This story is particularly poignant that it comes a few weeks after the parsha of the spies. The spies were the 12 men sent to the land of Israel, and the nation rejected the land of Israel on their word and said, no, we don't want to go there. We want to stay in the desert. We want to return to the land of Egypt. The only time where someone actually said that they want to go, that they want to possess the land of Israel, are these girls, are these women. If we have a look at the golden calf, the men were the ones who built the golden calf, not the women. They forcibly removed gold from their wives in order to build the golden calf. Every time we've messed something up in Jewish history, it's been the men who messed it up and the women who've saved the day. It's so important that we honor our women properly and we respect them, we treat them how they should be treated. One of my favorite times of the week is when we stand by our table on Friday night and we sing Eshet Chayil and recognise the work of the women of our community. And it's my hope that for us in our community, as we move forward into the future, we can really put this at the centre of what we do.